1976 AD, 5870 AM. Jewish American scholar and translator of Sumerian, Zecharia Sitchin, released his controversial book, The 12th Planet, concerning the history of the Anunnaki race that created humanity, visited in 3439 BC before the Great Flood, and their return to Earth from their intruder planet Nibiru. This begins 34 years of prophetic academic ministry, warning humanity about the Anunnaki through his informative books in the Earth Chronicles series, ending in 2010, the year of his death, with his final book, There Were Giants in the Earth. Sitchin's research has been continued and expanded in Anunnaki Homeworld, Orbital History and 2046 AD, Return of Planet Nibiru, released in 2011. 1976 AD begins 70 years to the return of the Anunnaki in 2046 AD. NASA's Viking 1 and 2 probes set down on Mars, these being the popularized first landings on the Red Planet. However, the secret space program had long been on Mars before 1976. NASA's Viking 1 orbiter satellite took pictures of the surface of Mars at the Cydonia region, where many researchers believe ancient megalithic architecture has been seen. Many are baffled as to why NASA pre-programmed the orbiter to take 4 rapid photos of an area known as Crater Pyramid, the only region on Mars where the satellite's steady-paced camera performed anything unusual. This alludes that NASA insiders already expected to find something in the region. Satellite photo 70A13 was taken at 1080 miles above the surface of Cydonia and revealed a distinct sphinx-like face staring into the sky, as well as a pentahedral pyramid, now called the D&M Pyramid. Comet West appears in March, marking the 70-year countdown to the destruction of the Western world in 2046 AD. Astronomers watched Comet West break up. On July 4th, the USA celebrated its 200th birthday since its declaration of independence in 1776. The US reinstates the death penalty. In Israel, the Temple Institute begins preparing the temple sacraments, artifacts, replication of the utensils, and objects necessary for the priestcraft in accordance with ancient Israelite Levitical law. On July the 28th, a quake in Tangshan east of Peking, now Beijing, killed 750,000 people. Also in Asia, another 750,000 to 1.5 million people in Cambodia were exterminated in Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge. The genocide would continue on through 1979. In May, the ceasefire in Lebanon between Christian and Muslim forces collapses. The civil war renewed. 1. Foundations of Astronomy. 2. Predictions for a New Millennium. 3. The Poison King. 4. 20th Century Events. 1977 AD, 5871 AM. 1977 was a year of unique discoveries. Japanese fishermen caught a 4,000-pound dead plesiosaur that measured 30 foot in length. These creatures are dinosaurs still found today in 65-million-year-old rock strata and exhibited in museums around the world. The specimen was found off the coast of New Zealand and is the same marine creature that has been sighted for over 1,000 years at Loch Ness in Scotland. Though Asian countries minted coins in commemoration of the find and marketed T-shirts, posters and other memorabilia, little at all was broadcast in the West due to the scientific dogma restricting Western scientists to offer the public opinions as to how this find was possible. On December 31st, the UPI White House photographer Ronald Bennett, for then President Jimmy Carter, who had been the UPI photographer for the White House from Nixon to Reagan, was aboard the Air Force One jet with President Carter and his staff on a flight from Russia to Tehran, Iran, with a wing-on-wing Russian fighter jet escort over Mount Ararat in Turkey. Someone called everyone's attention over to the windows, and later Bennett related, quote, "There, maybe halfway up the mountain, clearly visible, was a large dark boat. It was partially covered in snow or ice. I'm convinced, based on what I saw, that it was Noah's Ark." It's my opinion that the president probably had Air Force One routed over Mount Ararat and most likely saw the Ark too, unquote. Charles Kowal discovered the planetoid Chiron from the Pasadena Observatory, which maintains a 51-year solar orbit between Saturn and Jupiter. The highly elliptical orbit brings it well inside Jupiter's orbit as well. It is believed to be the remnants of a comet about 200 kilometers in diameter. Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle published Lucifer's Hammer, a fictional account about a very large comet colliding into Earth. A story noted and widely publicized because the authors were careful to be as scientific as possible. The London Times referred to the Bilderbergers as, quote, a clique of the richest, economically and politically most powerful and influential men in the Western world, who meet secretly to plan events that later appeared just to happen, unquote. Elvis Presley died at 42. George Lucas's epic movie Star Wars fascinates and inspires Americans and begins an entire subculture and Star Wars industry. 1. Evolution Cruncher. 2. The incredible discovery of Noah's Ark. 3. Shadow of Darkness, Dawning of Light.